We're seeing continued significant adoption of public cloud, and it's estimated that by next year, 2020, 2/3 of all workloads will be in public cloud. And spend on public cloud is around 6 times that of IT spend in general. So that's all well and good, but then secondly, what about people? What about the users? How are we delivering more value to users? It's about optimizing their user experience in terms of the applications they're using. It's ensuring they have always-on connectivity back into the network, and they have tools to collaborate both within their organization and with their external partners. Third area is really about automation. Tools like infrastructure as code, robotics like process automation and desktop automation, bot frameworks. And a lot of that is underpinned by sort of deep machine learning and artificial intelligence, where the power of the cloud enables us to process huge amounts of data, making it much more effective in terms of automation. The cloud is enabling us to gather data an awful lot easier, particularly through technologies like IoT, Internet of Things. In terms of storing it, the cloud economics enables us to store significant amounts of data, whereas in the past you'd have to invest in large arrays of physical spinning disks. And then getting the value out, the number of tools available now, the sort of playground of our data scientists, so they can get a lot more value out of that data now. And then finally, there is one sort of disruptor in there, and that's cyber threats. It's a phrase that covers a multitude of sins, but certainly with changing threat vectors in the IT industry at the moment, it's something we really have to work on to protect both customers and commercially sensitive data. For organisations that are looking at cloud, there is a number of decisions they need to take. Platform architecture, so you probably come across the phrases of private, hybrid and public cloud, the mixture of traditional on-premise infrastructure and cloud infrastructure. So how do organisations make those decisions? And then of course, if they are going to go public cloud or hybrid, which hyperscale provider? And then way back when, there were only really 3 options in cloud. It was infrastructure as a service, IaaS or PaaS or SaaS. Now in Microsoft Azure alone, there are over 200 services. And we find organisations are either thinking of going to the cloud and want to understand the benefits that they can derive from the cloud. They're already on that journey, but will just want the assurance and potentially acceleration of the benefits that they believe can be delivered. And then there are organisations that are already consuming services in the cloud, and they're maybe not getting the value they really believe they would get from that. So they maybe want a bit of a health check and a review of how they're using their cloud services, and they probably don't have that capability within their own organisation. Our organisations have an existing service provider that understands their estate and looks after their IT. It would make sense to speak to them first. They should know their business and know the challenges they're facing. If they don't, come speak to us. We're all about getting our consultants out there and having those good conversations to understand your strategy as a business, where your IT estate is at the moment, the challenges you're facing, and from that we then develop a strategy. Rather than going in there with a preconceived idea of how we think we can deliver value to your organisation, we focus on understanding you and your challenges, and from there bringing the technologies that cloud services can provide and creating those proposals that will deliver those outcomes for you. So 5 years from now, you won't know whether I'm human or artificial intelligence. Scary, but that's the way we're going at the moment. The likes of Amazon Alexa, Google Home and Apple HomePod have really set the tone for the next wave of innovation. Voice control has been around for some time, but I think the combination of a growing number of IoT devices, it's estimated there'll be something like 30 billion IoT devices by 2022, and the integration capabilities that they provide, talking to each other, and the proliferation of wireless and 5G smart connectivity is really going to drive that next wave of value out of IoT. The cloud is clearly here to stay, and the offerings we talked about earlier will continue to mature and advance in the coming years. Quantum computing is around the corner in terms of massive increases in processing capability, which will really drive improvements from a machine learning and artificial intelligence perspective, as neural networks, which mimic the decision-making process of the brain, will continue to improve the automation capabilities that we're working on today. And to ensure organisations are ready to take advantage of these advancements, they need to make sure they're aligning themselves to a technology partner that's really investing in the talent that we need to drive the value out of these advancements and deliver those better outcomes for our customers. Some of these are the age-old barriers of time, cost and money. We all face those pressures. And then customers will have specific challenges in terms of their ageing infrastructure, the well-known burning platforms problem, their change readiness, their governance, their risk appetite, their readiness to adopt these kind of technologies. And that's where, again, they need a strong technology partner to provide that advice and guidance and start their journey on a stable foundation that will really deliver the benefits that cloud can deliver. So Capita is a hugely diverse business with extensive range of experience and expertise in technology, whether that's public cloud, digital transformation, robotics, Internet of Things. And really for us, it's about bringing the best of Capita IT and networks, the wider Capita business, and our extensive network of key vendors, and bringing those capabilities to bear on our customers' problems.